What's up guys, and this is part 2 of me replacing my shifter cables. Alright guys, so once you get underneath the car, this is the shifter cables, and to get them out, you need to unbolt. Yeah. So there's 1 and 2 brackets that hold the shifter cables in place underneath the car. Once you get these 2 brackets loose underneath the car, you're gonna have to take out this heat shield to take it out from right there. So you're gonna need, there's a bolt right there and another one right here, and then you have this one, and you have that nut and this nut. And once you take off this heat shield and these brackets, you can get the rest of the shifter cables from out underneath the engine bay, and then get this loose. Once you get this loose, then you can go ahead and take out your center console and take it off from there. So we're gonna go ahead and do this right now. Alright guys, so the bracket up front takes these little 10mm bolts, and then the second bracket in the back takes these little 10mm nuts. So after you take off those 2 bolts and nuts off of the shifter cable brackets, it will come loose. Then you take off the metal shield, and then after you take off the metal shield, you can get to the actual shifter cables that go inside the car. And then the same thing for the shield. The bolts are 10mm, and the little nuts are also a 10mm. So everything underneath the car, heat shield and shifter cable brackets, they all use 10mm nuts and 10mm bolts.
good? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Nope. Yep.
Is there airport close by here?
Huh?
Is there airport close by here?
Yep.
Alright guys, so once you take off the heat shield, you should finally have access to the shifter cables right here that are going underneath your center console.
Is it still recording, Bella?
Yeah, it is. Hold on.
Yeah, alright.
This been recorded for 29 minutes, so yeah.
Alright guys, so now that you have these shifter cables loosened from underneath the car, and you can see the ground, now what you gotta do is you gotta come right here and release these pins on this one and on this one, and you also have to disconnect them, one right here, and then the other one is gonna be right there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright, so what I did to take off this is I put my flathead against one side of the pin, and then put my finger on one side of the pin, and then you just put outwards, and once the pin should release on the shifter. And then the way you're gonna take out this piece right here is you're just gonna get your flathead on here, and then you're just gonna go and stick your flathead screwdriver and just pry it out. And once the plastic flexes, it should come right out. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got the OEM one out. Now, if you're having trouble putting it into reverse like I had, I felt like it was getting stuck in neutral and you had a hard time taking it out of gear and putting it in gear, it would be a good idea to check your shifter cables, because the shifter cables play a major part in the car going in gear, no matter what brand, no matter if it's front wheel drive, all wheel drive, or whatever. So it's always a good idea to check your shifter cables, because I thought it was a major problem and I thought there was something wrong with the transmission. I was like, let me go ahead and change the shifter cables, and sure enough, it was the shifter cables. Now, as you can see, these shifter cables are long overdue for a change. Like, it's literally almost into two pieces. The transmission and the shift is connected by shifter cables. Check your shifter cables. And also the new ones I bought from Amazon, and they're like $75 instead of paying for the OEM Honda ones. Instead of paying $500, you could pay $75. And as you can see, even though they're not a Honda brand and I got them from Amazon, really, if you get Toyota oil and Valvoline oil, it's basically the same oil. Like, it would say Honda, but then it would say made by Chevron or something like that. So even though this one is not the OEM Honda one, it still had the same part number, so it's the same part even though it's not a Honda brand one. It's like the front bracket, the back bracket lines up, the shifter cables where they meet to the shifter, they match, and then the and where the shifter cables connect to the transmission, those also line up. So now all we gotta do is transfer all the hardware to the new shifter cables. So you gotta change out this to the new one, and all it is, it's like a little plastic retainer. Then you have to put this bracket onto new ones, then put the retaining brackets, and yeah, that's pretty much it. These brackets, the new ones, they already have the ones on top. The OEM pins right here look the same thickness, but I might change them out for the OEM ones anyways. But yeah, other than that, these Amazon ones are exactly the same as the OEM one. So just how you took everything off, you put everything back the same way it was. But I would say it's probably easier starting from the shifter all the way forward. Remember, keep everything loose until everything's on, so you won't have a hard time putting everything back on. This is gonna be it for this video. Subscribe and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.